Alright guys, this is going to be part 5 of my 8% tutorial. One thing I forgot to mention in the previous level was that in the end cutscene, I'll go ahead and call in player 2 so that we just go all ready to go for this level. So this one is a little bit more of a kind of a complicated 1P2C. What I do is I hold both the player 1 nunchuck and Wii remote in my left hand. I have my player 2 Wiimote on the desk, and I have the nunchuck in my right hand. And then I can just kind of like hit the A button from the top of the remote with my middle finger while still being able to use the nunchuck with my thumb. So as soon as I start, I go ahead and I just jump over to here where R2 is, and I just kind of hold up on player 1 into this tree. And just go ahead and tag R2, and as soon as he passes Panaka about right there, you can go ahead and break this tree. And then you can just jump to this room. Just force the bridge. I just kind of fly there, so it kind of like puts R2 up on top of that bridge. And you can go and drop out. And if you do that room well, then you'll have the power up for this thing. So there's a couple different ways to do button room. I'm going to show you guys the fastest way. This is the way I do it in runs. It's a little bit more risky, but usually just takes a little practice and you'll get it down. But yeah, you just go stand on that button and just do a double jump slam. That's all you have to do. You just come through here. Slash this, and as soon as I start building this, I go ahead and call in R2. So that can happen sometimes. If that does happen, you just want to go to R2, who's usually just standing over there. I want to avoid getting hit here. If you are low on hearts, what you'd want to do right there is just go ahead and walk into all those droids and just die and enter the room with R2. But I did have 4 hearts. So as soon as you enter this room, you just want to spam the button to tag, and then it'll tag Panaka, and then you just drop out. Make sure you only tag Panaka, and then you drop out immediately. Then you just come through this room. Force these stairs. Force the bridge. Force these droids right here. Once I get to about right here, like when I'm even with this light, I go ahead and call in player 2. Usually it calls in Panaka right there. If it calls in Panaka, then you just tag Qui-Gon. Make sure you tag no one else except for Qui-Gon. The reason being is so your characters are all correct for the next room, because it's very important for the next room. Yeah, so just go ahead and force this box. This just basically skips having to take Anakin through this whole room. What you're going to do here is you're just going to... Don't move player 2 yet, because you can hit this cutscene, and it loses a lot of time to hit that cutscene. Just want to go and hit this button, and then start moving player 2. And then you can just walk off the ledge with player 1 and walk right into the transition with player 2. It's really, really easy. And then once you're in this room, you can go ahead and drop out player 2. You're going to put Panaka in this corner. What we're going to do is called a transition skip. So you're going to kill Panaka, and then I'm going to show you guys where to stand, and it'll kind of push him behind the transition, and then you can just go out of bounds and skip this whole room. Just kill him like that, and stand about right there, and see how he kind of like pushed. It was like a noticeable push. We kind of like got pushed back. That means you got it, and you can just go ahead and tag him, and you're behind the transition. And you're gonna come underneath this floor right here. Want to be about 1 jump from the surface, and you see like this plant right here. You just kind of want to like rub up against it, and then you can just kind of curve around it and jump. And then jump right up this wall. And then at this point, it no longer follows the normal out-of-bounds rules where you have to constantly be moving. Here you can just kind of walk around up here. If you walk too far back, you will fall though. And you see this vent? You kind of want to jump around this vent. Otherwise, because if you just walk right into it, you'll just get soft locked and you'll be stuck. And you'll have to call in player 2 or about player 1. Go back into the previous room and then come back in. That's the only way you can get out of it. So you really want to avoid that. So you just kind of jump around that vent. And then right here, I go to about right here, and then I just jump to here, and then just walk in. And you just tag a Jedi. Bring them through here. Slash this. And then this is the hanger. Basically, you're just going to do these jump shots. So you're going to come down to about like right here where you're like right in between these. You're going to kind of like go about like this angle, and then you want to jump and shoot at the peak of your height, or at the peak of your jump. And then do the same for this one, and then just start moving. You call on player 2 and just tag R2, and then just keep shooting through here. Make sure you don't go too far like up, otherwise you will hit that door up there, and then a bunch of like Droidicas will come out. Then you're just gonna come back right down here to where these studs are, jump, do another jump shot, and then you just tag a Jedi. Just try and catch up to R2, because if you're too far away from R2, then it'll just call on, it'll pull it back, and then you'll call on as a different player on player 2, and you'll have to go re-tag R2. And then just go ahead and drop out. And then yeah, that's the